A supermarket scanner can read a barcode in less than a tenth of a second, and it never once looks at the numbers printed underneath it. You naturally assume the machine is scanning those digits, the way a cashier's eyes could if they leaned in close. It isn't, and it can't. It isn't reading a picture at all. Cut one of these scanners open, and the whole trick turns out to be about light and timing, not vision. Let's see exactly what happens in that split second between the beep and the price landing on screen. Here's the part that surprises people first. A barcode isn't read like a photo, and it isn't read like text either. It's a sequence of black bars and white spaces, and the only thing that actually matters is how wide each one is. A wide bar means one thing, a narrow bar means another, and a wide space is different again from a narrow one. Line those widths up in order, and they spell out a number, the same way dots and dashes spell out letters in Morse code. The bars themselves are just the message. The scanner's whole job is to measure their widths, fast and precisely. So what about the number printed right underneath the bars, the one you can actually read yourself? Most people assume that's what the machine is scanning, that it's basically doing what a human could do if they squinted. That's wrong, and it's worth saying clearly. The scanner never looks at those digits. It can't even parse them. They're printed there purely as a human-readable backup, so a cashier can type the number in by hand if the bars ever get damaged or smudged beyond recognition. Every real checkout, the machine is reading something else entirely, a beam of light bouncing straight off the bars. Open up a classic laser scanner, and here's what's sitting inside. A small red laser diode and a tiny mirror that spins or oscillates constantly. That mirror doesn't sit still for an instant. It flicks the laser beam back and forth across the barcode, sweeping the full width of the code up to 100 times every single second. From your side of the counter, that looks like one steady, unbroken red line. It's actually a single point of light racing across the bars over and over, far faster than your eye could ever track it. As that beam sweeps across, the black bars soak up most of the light, while the white spaces bounce the vast majority of it straight back. A sensor called a photodiode sits nearby, watching only for that reflected light, and it converts the pattern into a rising and falling electrical signal, high when the beam sits over a space, low when it crosses a bar. Because the mirror sweeps at a steady, known speed, the exact time that signal stays high or low tells the scanner precisely how wide that bar or space really is. Light and dark just became measurable numbers. Now the payoff. Every single digit, 0 through 9, has its own unique pattern of bar and space widths, laid out by an international standard, so any scanner, anywhere in the world, decodes the exact same code the exact same way. Special guard bars, extra thin markers at the start, the middle, and the end of the barcode tell the scanner precisely where the number begins and ends. Match all those measured widths against the standard, and the scanner outputs the full number almost instantly. No camera, no picture, just timed pulses of reflected light turned straight into digits. There's one more safeguard quietly built into every barcode. The very last digit isn't part of the product number at all. It's a check digit, calculated from every other digit using a simple checksum formula. If the scanner's math doesn't line up with that check digit perfectly, it throws the read away entirely and waits for a clean sweep instead of ringing up garbage. That's exactly why a barcode drags sideways, at an angle, at full checkout speed, almost never rings up the wrong item. Bad reads get caught and silently rejected before you ever see them. So next time that beep sounds at the register, forget the idea of a tiny camera reading numbers off a label. Picture a laser sweeping up to 100 times a second, a sensor timing every flicker of reflected light, and a checksum standing guard against a single bad read, all of it finishing before you've even set the item down. It isn't vision. It's a very fast, very precise stopwatch for light. If that changes how you see the checkout line, that's exactly the kind of everyday magic we dig into here. Stick around, we keep cutting things open.